On today's lesson, how to make money. The euro area is getting new banknotes, but 20 countries share a currency. So what should be on those new banknotes? Hi there everyone, I'm Jeff, and this is Plain English, where we help you upgrade your English with current events and trending topics. We believe here at Plain English, we believe that you should listen to things that interest you. And by listening to interesting stories, you'll get better at English. And we give you a helping hand too by showing you how to use English expressions and how to express your best ideas in English. Now, if you're a Plus member, you also get detailed video lessons, interactive exercises, translations, and more. If you're not a Plus member, you're missing out. So visit us at plainenglish.com/plus, Plus, and we'll get you signed up. Coming up today on lesson number 611, making money is harder than you think. First, you need a design. What are the banknotes going to look like? That's where the European Central Bank is getting stuck. They're redesigning the euro paper notes, but it's not easy to decide what exactly should go on the money for a block of 20 countries. In the second half of the lesson, I'll show you how to use the English expression hard-pressed, and it's Thursday, so we have a song of the week. Let's get going. The euro, as a common currency, was born on January 1st, 1999. For its first 3 years, it existed as a digital currency only. It existed on bank balances and ledgers alongside national currencies, but there were no coins or paper bills. The first circulating coins and banknotes debuted on January 1st, 2002. I was in Germany that day. I remember people anxiously getting their hands on their first paper notes, touching and handling the bills and coins that would be their money for the rest of their lives. The euro paper bills come in denominations of 5 euros, 10 euros, 20, 50, 100, 200, and 500 euros, although they've stopped printing the 500 euro note. The paper notes feature illustrations of bridges, windows, and architecture, but these illustrations don't depict any actual existing bridge, window, or building. The illustrations are composite, made-up drawings meant to show general styles that do exist in Europe. The design is the ultimate expression of European compromise. Dull, but at least it doesn't offend anyone. There have been some security improvements over the years, but the designs today are little changed from the original banknotes of 2002. But that is about to change as the European Central Bank has launched a project to redesign the banknotes. But what should go on the new paper currency? Some countries put just one figure on all their notes. Britain's paper money shows its current monarch. Turkey puts its founder on every bill. Brazil has a personification of the Republic on every bill. Many countries, like the US, combine ex-presidents, luminaries, monuments, or historical places. Some depict plant or animal life. Mexico's 100 peso bill includes a monarch butterfly. In Fiji, a banknote depicts a large insect. The new Taiwanese $500 bill includes a picture of a baseball team. Now that's a design I can get behind. Norway has a contemporary pixelated design meant to evoke images of the sea. Europe, though, presents a unique challenge. The European Union has 27 member states, 20 of which use the euro currency. And the challenge with the currency mirrors so many other challenges of the European project. How can you build consensus without isolating any one country? This is hard. There are so many great things about Europe, you would think that designers would be spoiled for choice. Start with landmarks. The Eiffel Tower, the Colosseum in Rome, the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin. But there are only 6 banknotes, each with a front and a back. You can easily see how the 20 countries might not agree on which landmarks make it and which get the most prominent positions. Now, what about people? Europe, the European Union, doesn't have outsized historical figures. The EU has always been technocratic. Even citizens of the EU would be hard-pressed to name the 11 men considered founders. Power is so dispersed within the EU that one person's contributions rarely stand out like they do in individual countries. So kings, queens, and presidents are out. How about artists, philosophers, or scientists? This runs into the same problem as landmarks. Can all 20 countries agree on famous artists and scientists? But there's another problem. Many of Europe's great artists and thinkers lived in a time when Europe was a continent, not a political entity. Has anyone described Leonardo da Vinci as a European artist? No, he's an Italian artist. So famous artists, scientists, and philosophers don't represent Europe as a whole so much as they represent countries in Europe. What about the great explorers, Magellan, Columbus, Hernando Cortez? Let's not even go there. The moral ledger of European exploration is decidedly mixed. This is hard. If you think of Europe today, especially the European Union, the one thing that binds everyone together is values. When I think of European values, I think of fair play, consumer protection, respect for individuals and minorities, human rights, democracy, rule of law, protection of the environment, and economic stability, mostly. And indeed, that is where the European Central Bank is going with its currency redesign: values. But there's just one problem with putting values on a banknote. What do values even look like? On Monday, we'll talk about how Europe is planning to resolve this problem. I said I was in Germany on the first day of the euro paper currency. That's one of my favorite travel memories. I, obviously, was seeing the euro for the first time, but so was everyone else, and this was their money. So everyone was getting used to how to pay, what bills to use, how to make change, what the coins looked like. It was fun to watch. But then, one of my worst travel memories came just a few days later. On that same trip, I had collected banknotes from France, Germany, Belgium, and Austria, knowing that they were all about to be retired. And then I lost my wallet in my final days in Europe. So I lost my francs, my shillings, and my marks, and I haven't seen those currencies since. Today's song of the week is Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash was a famous country singer and the subject of a great biopic movie from 2005. It's called Walk the Line. If you haven't seen Walk the Line, I highly recommend it. Anyway, the song Ring of Fire was written by Johnny Cash's second wife, June Carter Cash, and it describes love as a burning ring of fire. The lyrics go, in part, I fell into a burning ring of fire, went down, 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 and the flames went higher. Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire is the song of the week. And if you're looking for a good biopic movie about a singer, check out the movie about his life, Walk the Line. Reese Witherspoon plays June Carter Cash, and she's excellent in this movie. You would be hard-pressed to find a better biopic of a country singer. And coming up next, I'll show you just what hard-pressed means. Hard-pressed is an expression we use to indicate that someone would be challenged to do something. Let's start with some easy examples. We were talking about the difficulty of deciding what to put on the new euro paper currency. I said that Europe, the European Union, doesn't have any EU-wide heavy hitters, famous names they could or should put on their money. Of course, individual countries have big, towering historical figures. I'm talking about EU figures. Can you name any of the founding fathers of the European Union? If you live in Taiwan, that would be hard. If you live in Europe, that would probably also be hard. There's only one name on there I had ever heard before, Winston Churchill, and he's not famous for his work in the EU. Altiero Spinelli, Paul Henry Spaak, Joseph Beck. I don't mean to take anything away from their fine work, but these are not big, towering, famous names in the history of Europe. They, like most EU officials, worked more behind the scenes. They worked their magic in the halls of power in Brussels and national capitals, but not necessarily in the media spotlight like country leaders. In fact, I think most European citizens would be hard-pressed to name the 11 founding fathers of the European Union. That means I think most European citizens would have difficulty naming them. They would have difficulty doing it, so I said they would be hard-pressed to do it. Burning Man. Have you heard of that festival? It takes place in the desert in Nevada, a western state. It's like music, art, drugs, parties, music, drugs, art, parties, drugs. Anyway, it's like 9 days. This town in Nevada got a year's worth of rain in one night, and the festival turned into a swamp of mud. Just disgusting. Cars were stuck, tents were flooded, mud was caked on everything. People were trying to get out, but they weren't allowed to leave because authorities feared more cars getting stuck and blocking the way for emergency services. Attendees were hard-pressed to communicate with friends and family since there was little cell phone service in the area. They were hard-pressed to communicate means they had a difficult time communicating. The area doesn't have good cell phone service. Being isolated is the point of the festival. But when things started to go wrong, people wanted to change travel plans, communicate with the outside world. But they were hard-pressed to do anything on their phones or computers because of the bad mobile service. One more quick example. We were hard-pressed to finish the project on time because we got off to such a late start. That means we had a hard time finishing the project on time. So that's the easy way to use it. You directly say someone is having a hard time doing something. Well, now though, I'm going to show you the much harder way to use it. You can use hard-pressed as a way to express your own opinion about something. The way you do this is this way. You say to your conversation partner, "You would be hard-pressed to," and then you express an opinion in the form of a superlative. So let's say, I think the movie Walk the Line is one of the best, if not the best, biopics of a country music singer. It's about Johnny Cash. I think, this is my opinion, I think Walk the Line is the best biopic of a country singer. So here's how I'm going to express my opinion. I'm going to say, you, my listener, you would be hard-pressed to find a better biopic of a country singer than Walk the Line. So what I'm really saying is, I think Walk the Line is the best, but I'm phrasing it like it would be very difficult for you to find, or you would be hard-pressed to find a better biopic than Walk the Line. Let's try another example. If you like mountain hikes, you would be hard-pressed to find a better place to go hiking than the Grand Teton National Park. This is my opinion. It really is. It's my opinion, but I'm saying it like you would be hard-pressed to find a better place to go hiking, which means you would have difficulty finding a better place. So that's a more indirect, interesting way of expressing my own opinion. And that's all for us here today at Plain English. This was lesson number 611. So remember, the full lesson is at plainenglish.com/611. And we also send a summary of each lesson by email, along with other fun nuggets to help you feel connected to English. If you're not getting our emails, just go to plainenglish.com/mail, M-A-I-L, and sign up. They really are jam-packed with value and fun. plainenglish.com/mail, M-A-I-L. Remember, we'll be back on Monday to continue this topic. I'll tell you about the 7 themes the EU is considering for its paper currency. All I'm going to say now is a couple of these are really strange. You'll hear the whole story on Monday. See you then.